Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, encouraging vaccine rollout numbers, how the university is reacting, and what students are saying about vaccination options.
Graduation with a twist, how it will look different this year and why preparations are beginning this week.
Plus, SU's Asian Studies program is calling for help. Find out what resources they need and how they'll use them to combat anti-Asian racism.
Those stories and more as Mornings on the Hill starts right now.
Good morning, I'm James Cataldo. Thanks so much for waking up with us here on Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Mary Horton. Our top story. Let's take a look at some COVID numbers. Cases are going down on campus after one of the largest spikes the university has seen this year.
Our Lauren Helmbrecht is live in studio to tell us just how many cases are still active.
Thanks, James and Ari. According to new numbers from the Syracuse University dashboard, there are 114 active COVID cases. This is a drop of 44 cases since the numbers were last reported on February 2nd. There are 24 new student cases and 6 students currently in quarantine. Now, Syracuse University COVID cases have been on the decline since the university saw a spike at the end of January. The dashboard reported 345 active cases on January 28th, which was the highest number of cases reported the whole school year. Now, that spike did correspond with nearly a 4-time increase in university-administered COVID tests. Students were required by the university to participate in arrival testing following winter break. For more information on Syracuse University COVID cases, head to syracuse.edu/COVID-dashboard. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Lauren Helmbrecht.
Lauren, thank you. As COVID cases are continuing to decline, people are wondering when the statewide mask mandate is going to end, and it's set to expire this Thursday.
And our Caitlin McCarthy has student reactions about the possibility of masks going away.
Connecticut, Delaware, New Jersey, and Oregon all ended their school mask mandate yesterday. But New Yorkers, they're wondering when it's their turn. Governor Kathy Hochul enforced the mask mandate in December due to the increase in Omicron cases. But in Onondaga County, Executive Ryan McMahon asked New York State Commissioner to make a metric to get rid of masks in schools as soon as possible. Now that we know how our politician feels about masks in schools, let's take a look at what some Syracuse University students had to say.
Oh, that would be fun. But I understand why they're in place, health reasons. So I hope just something good comes out.
Personally, I would like for masks to not be required in schools anymore. I feel like it should come down to personal preference now. If you feel safe wearing one, wear one. If you don't want to wear one, don't wear one.
Governor Hochul is set to make her announcement tomorrow, according to the state mask mandate. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Caitlin McCarthy. Back to you in the studio.
And again, with the recent decline in COVID cases and hospitalizations across the state, McMahon says the community has been through a lot and says, quote, "Our children deserve to know that their community leaders are working to restore a sense of normalcy and consistency at school." McMahon says he's asking for the metric as soon as possible.
And Syracuse University is kicking off Black History Month with a number of events and guest speakers here on campus. The theme this year is Black Health and Wellness. This week, students can participate in a Bell Hooks book club, an art walk featuring Black artists, and to cap it off, a trap and paint event this Friday. All these events will be held at the new and improved 119 Euclid Avenue space.
A radio station on campus is looking to add more students.
Our reporter Calvin Milliner spoke to Newhouse professor about that need.
I was shocked at how many students actually showed up. We had just had classes delayed the day before a major snowstorm, and students still came out on time for both days.
The event was 2 days and featured a variety of guest speakers. Jackson Roberts, a broadcast digital journalism major, enjoyed the company.
I think hearing from people like Dean Lodato, in charge of all this at Newhouse School, and Scott McFarland, CBS News national political reporter, them being in our shoes at some point is cool to hear from, thinking about how we can develop stories here at the local level.
WAER hosted their first orientation last weekend. The partnership not only allows students to bolster their resume, but it allows students to gain hands-on experience at a local NPR station. I spoke with professional in residence Taryn Minto about last weekend's event.
Calvin, thank you. Every week, Mornings on the Hill is broadcasted Tuesday and Friday mornings on OTN or Orange Television Network, but many are unfamiliar with the faces behind the station. Joining us now is the new general manager of OTN Magazine News and Digital Journalism professor, Meg Craig. Our Rochelle LeGrand is live here in the studio.
Right now with Professor Meg Craig. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Now, I know it's only your first day on the job. Today marks day 2. However, how has the adjustment been going for you?
It's been going great. I mean, everyone has been super helpful. A bunch of grad students hang out in the OTN room and have been more than willing to give me the information that I'm still definitely collecting. I'm going to need a lot of help, but so far people have been really kind and great to me.
That's great. I'm glad it's going so well for you. Now, you have a background in, of course, magazine and print journalism. So you've been a reporter for the Chicago Tribune. You're obviously a faculty professor here in MND. You've done a lot of work within the nonprofit area as well. So what attracted you to Orange Television Network, which is primarily based in the entertainment industry?
Sure. So I think everybody loves a challenge, and this will definitely be one for me, right? Broadcast isn't my main format for media, but I do love news, I love entertainment, I love news entertainment and where those intersect. So I'm excited to find ways where the existing print outlets at the school can work together with the broadcast outlets to possibly create new content for OTN. For example, oh, sorry.
That's great. So what should we be excited for this upcoming semester?
So I think that you should be excited for some new content creation. So there are a lot of opportunities where we can maybe work together to make new shows that haven't existed before, but I'm about to go on a listening tour. So I want to hear what everyone who's been involved with OTN, everyone who wants to be involved with OTN thinks should be showing up on the network. And I can't wait to hear what people think.
That's great. And you can take a tour and listen with Professor Craig and visit her in her office in Newhouse 2, room 280. Back to you, Ari.
Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, we're taking a deep dive into some of the greatest halftime performances in Super Bowl history. And this weekend's snowstorm hit Syracuse hard with over a foot of snow. But is the cold weather over? Stay with us to find out.
People living in Syracuse spent a lot of time digging out their cars this weekend, and that was because of all the snow.
Mornings on the Hill reporter Marcus Ville caught up with students for their thoughts about the recent weather in the area.
Boy, did it snow last Thursday and Friday. The storm that stretched across 35 states made its way through central New York, and there was so much snow that roads and sidewalks are still being swept this Tuesday morning. I asked students from different parts of the country for their opinions about the snow and how they've been able to adjust to it. Syracuse saw over a foot of snow late last week, forcing SU to close campus and either cancel classes or put them on Zoom from Thursday evening to Friday morning. Some students enjoy when it snows.
I am a fan of the snow.
While others, not so much.
Gotten better by the years, but it's still not enjoyable. But, is what it is.
Alexa Adams is from California. Despite liking the snow, it's still been quite the adjustment to life in upstate New York.
I think I have many memories of just people running around and slipping on their way to class, going out at night, it's hazardous out there.
Jasmine Graytalk brought her car with her from Philadelphia. She says having it out here is still convenient, but she has to leave a little earlier now for class.
Oh, I need to leave at this time, add an extra 15 minutes to that time to get the snow off my car, get the ice off my car, and then get rolling.
Alexa and the roommate have spent 5 years at SU, and they're still amazed at how much snow this place can get. If you're a newcomer out there and still getting used to it, here's their advice on how to stay warm.
Expect the worst. What you're imagining is as bad as it's going to be. So yeah, buy big jackets and waterproof ones.
With this much snow on the ground, it's understandable why not a lot of people are outside. A fair exception? Whenever it's game day. Now you may be wondering, who needs a dub? What was he talking about? Be sure to stick around for the sports update right after the break. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Marcus Field.
Marcus, thank you. Let's take a look at your weather today.
Allison Turner is in the studio to give you the rundown of the warmer weather ahead.
Thanks, guys. Good morning and happy Tuesday. Now, normally I'd be telling you to bundle up because it's very cold and windy outside, but we're in what could be considered a slight heat wave in Syracuse, especially after the snowstorm we had late last week that Marcus just told you about. Right now, as you can see, it is 31, but it feels like 25 with the humidity around 75%. We have low winds, so if you're going outside, it's gonna feel kind of nice. And heading into the rest of the day, temperatures will stay in the low to mid 30s with a chance of light, very light snow showers. The low tonight will be around 17, so if you do go outside, make sure you pull on that big winter coat, but it may not be necessary during the day today. And looking ahead to tomorrow, it will be a little cold in the morning, as you can see, 18 degrees Fahrenheit, but it will warm up in the afternoon. The high is 43, starting the warm trend that will be seen this week. There is a chance of some rain and snow showers in the afternoon into the evening, but it will stop at night. And we'll be seeing some warmer temperatures throughout the week in the mid to upper 30s and even in the 40s. If you're anything like me, I'm very excited about it. We'll also see some chances of rain and snow showers on Thursday and Saturday, but the precipitation is going to be less than 50%. But don't get too comfortable with this warm weather. It's not here to stay. Punxsutawney Phil predicted 6 more weeks of winter last week, and it looks like he's right, at least for Syracuse. Temperatures will go back to the teens starting on Sunday with lows in the single digits. That's all for your weather forecast for today. I'm Allison Turner. Stay warm and stay dry.
So this one is fun. We all know that Wordle took the internet by absolute storm, and it really didn't take that long for SU to hop on the trend. The university just created its own version of the game, and get this, it's called Oddle. So Oddle, this one is interesting. If you're unfamiliar with the game, you have 6 tries to get a randomized word of the day. The difference, though, between Oddle and Wordle is that Wordle is only 5 letters long, while Oddle is anywhere from 4 to 6 letters long. And then the catch being, each word will have a Syracuse theme. So yesterday's word was Ensley, like the athletic center. The game is free to play at oddle.syr.edu.
The Syracuse Common Council is bringing back the city's Jazz Festival back after 5 tough years. The council announced it will spend $125,000 of federal stimulus to help fund the Jazz Fest. As of now, officials are working on setting a date for the event in Clinton Square this summer.
For one night only. Disney Princess, the concert, will be at the Landmark Theater on April 15th. It'll be featuring 30 classic Disney songs from present and past. Concert goers are encouraged to dress up in their most royal attire. Tickets will go on sale for this event Friday and at 10 a.m. as well at www.livenation.com.
After the break, Syracuse men's and women's basketball teams in action this weekend. Find out how they both fared against the Cardinals.
Syracuse men's basketball riding high found a 2-game winning streak. The Orange offense is getting hot at the right time. Over 90 points a game in the last 2. Now SU looking for their longest winning streak of the year, taking on Louisville. Buddy Boeheim in the Orange playing in front of the largest crowd in basketball this year. Early Syracuse rolling. Cole Swider, Jesse Edwards, he throws it down for 2 of his 19. Syracuse up early. Then it's the Boeheim connection. Buddy for 3, Cuse up 10. Right before half, Joe Girard, don't do it to him, Joe. Step back triple for 3. Syracuse up 43-26 at the break. Second half spin move. Frank Anselm, ferocious slam. The exclamation point. Syracuse steamrolls Louisville. 92-69. After the game, Jim Boeheim pleased with his team's progress.
Makes it easier for us when our defense is good. It doesn't put as much pressure on our offense. And I mean, offensively, we moved well. You know, Joe did a great job of running the offense, getting Jesse when he was rolling and when he wasn't hitting the shooters.
We'll go for win number 4 in a row versus Boston College Tuesday night. It was a Cardinal weekend at the Dome. The women's team eyeing an upset against number 3 Louisville. Former Syracuse player Emily Angster making her debut as well. Driving to the basket, Chrissy Carr gets the first 2 points for the Orange. Then it was Angstler on the other end. The give and go. Angstler gets the bucket. She had 11 on the night. Kiana Smith giving her the pass. And then it was Tisha Hyman to Najee Murray. Splash from downtown. Syracuse down just 8, 30-22 at that point, but too much Cardinals. Lynn Dixon, the lefty layup. She finished with 18 points off the bench. Syracuse downs Louisville 100-64. It was a rivalry showdown with the two teams with the same name. The CBA Albany boys basketball team traveling west from CNY to take on the brothers here in Syracuse. Syracuse in white, Albany in blue. Picked this one up in the 4th. Syracuse down 6. Joe Nicholson with the splash. He had 9 on the night. Syracuse down just 3. Now under a minute to go. Albany looking to extend the lead. It's the sophomore with ice water in his veins. Keelan Leak from downtown. Syracuse down 2. 10 seconds to go. Can they do it? Dan Anderson finds Brennan Burns for the game winner. The brothers from Syracuse beat the brothers from Albany 66-65.
We stay together and we'll go to Albany next year, so we've got a pretty good relationship with them. They've got a great program down there, very successful. So it is fun. It's fun to play, and I tell you what, we're going to be having some sandwiches after it so the kids can get together, and it's a friendly rivalry.
At Bishop Grimes. The Crunch ended a 3-game losing streak last night, looking to make it 2 in a row tonight. Scoreless in the first, scoreless no more. Gabriel Dumont around the right side, lights the ramp, 1-0 Crunch. Syracuse on the power play, Gabriel Forte brings it home, knocks that one off the post, and then just a minute later, Checkers turn it over in their own zone. Cole Kopech, the one-timer, lights the lamp. Syracuse goes on to win by a final of 3-1. The Winter Olympics are in full swing. Our Mornings on the Hill sports reporter Miles Hood is live in studio with an update. Miles, good morning.
Thanks, Thomas. The games have been in high gear since before opening ceremonies kicked off this past Friday. And from the ice to the slopes and everything in between, we've seen some jaw-dropping athleticism and world records being shattered. Medals have been awarded in luge, freestyle skiing, curling, and my favorite, the biathlon, where Norway picked up the gold in the mixed 4x6 kilometer, France took home the silver, and Russia took home the bronze. Now in big news, U.S. figure skater Nathan Chen scored a world record 113.97 in the men's short program last night. Taking a look at our medal count here, Sweden is at the top of the leaderboards with 4 gold medals. China, Netherlands, and Norway are in a tie for second with 3, and Russia sits after the leaders with 2. Now the teams will be looking to increase those numbers later tonight as we have finals in snowboarding, curling, luge, and freestyle skiing. Now personally, I'm looking forward to seeing 3-time Olympic gold medalist Shaun White in his 5th and final Olympics during the men's halfpipe tonight. That's all from me. Back to you, Thomas.
Thank you, Miles. Olympic coverage continues through February 20th. That's all we got for sports. James, Ari, back to you.
Thanks, guys. Coming up after the break here on Mornings on the Hill, let's get ready for Super Bowl 56. Welcome back. The Super Bowl is coming up, and halftime performances are always the talk of the town.
And as Black History Month is in full swing, our Nia Lucky is in studio to take us through some of the best performances by Black artists.
Yes, it is going down at the 56th Super Bowl between the Rams and the Bengals. But this weekend, when it comes to the big game, what do we normally think about? Of course, the delicious spread of food, commercials, and the halftime show. This year, performers include Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar. In honor of Black History Month, the Mornings on the Hill team took to Twitter to find some top game day performers by Black artists. So let's take a look here. we have Curtis Williams saying Whitney Houston, Prince, and Michael Jackson. I love all three of those legends, and we can't forget about Whitney Houston singing the Star Spangled Banner. Next up, we have Lauren Helmbrick's Mornings on the Hill very own saying Beyonce always. She's my favorite, and I will never be able to forget the Bruno Mars and Beyonce halftime performance where they literally shut down the stadium. And last up, we have Tessa Howard saying Beyonce, Prince, Whitney Houston. Of course, three classics, three legends. And now we have Imani saying soon to be Mary J. Blige. My favorite, I cannot wait for this weekend. What about you, Ari and James?
Ari, you want to go?
Yeah, so I am definitely looking forward to Mary J. Blige. She is the auntie of the Black community, and I am ready for her performance. Like, she's gonna shut it down. I already know. How about you, James?
I love that. I am so biased toward my guy Bruno Mars, I gotta be honest. Every time he performs, I'm always watching at the fedoras, honoring him back in the day. And then obviously, you love the halftime performance, but you also love the Star Spangled Banner beforehand. So Whitney Houston's Star Spangled Banner, I mean, it was like the best one that's ever been. So I'm so excited for the Super Bowl. I'm sure you are as well.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for us here on Mornings on the Hill. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Mornin, no G, on the Hill for all of your BTS behind the scenes action and all of your studio updates.
And I'm Ari Horton. Thanks for watching Orange Nation. We'll see you this Friday live at 10 a.m. right here on OTN.